Seed oils are one of those topics that can feel really confusing, really polarizing, and a little bit trendy considering you hear it everywhere these days with the food pyramid changes. But behind the headlines and the hot takes, there's a very real question many women are asking themselves, and you may be asking yourself. Why am I inflamed? Why am I exhausted? Why am I struggling to feel well when I'm trying to eat healthy? In today's episode, we're going to slow this conversation down and I'm going to explain what seed oils actually are, how they're made, how they interact with the female body, and why they may be quietly contributing to the inflammation, hormone disruption, and metabolic stress going on in your body, especially for women who are already stretched thin. This isn't about fear, it's not about food rules. It's about understanding how modern fats affect a body that's designed for nourishment, not constant stress. Let's go. Okay, this is your weekly reminder. Leave me a review if you haven't already. I know when you see reviews and you think about reviews, you probably don't really think that your voice matters that much, but please believe me when I tell you your voice matters. So if you have not stopped, taken a few seconds to leave me a written review over on Apple Podcasts, it costs you nothing. It helps me so much. So please go do that right now. You can just pause it. You can go do it. I'll wait for you right here. You won't miss a thing, okay? All right, you're back. Thank you so much for doing that. You'll be hearing your review read here if you went and left one. Okay, so today we're going to talk about seed oils and why seed oils matter more than we think. Seed oils are everywhere, yet most people don't even know what they are. You kind of hear it in the headlines, you know there's something wrong with it, but you probably don't know much about it and you probably don't know how to avoid them. Many women feel that they're doing everything right, but they're still inflamed, they're still tired, they're still insulin resistant, having metabolic issues. So, this episode is going to explain why oils are not interchangeable in the body or in your cooking. Food choices don't exist in isolation. They affect your hormones, your metabolism, your inflammation, and your nervous system signaling. It's not harmless, it's not without impact. But this is not about food rules. It's about understanding how these modern fats interact with your body that's already under stress, and then they cause more stress, whether you realize it or not. What makes me the maddest as I head into this episode is that organizations that we have been taught to trust over the years, like the American Heart Association, still have articles up on their website to this day. Today, as I'm recording this, I went to look this up just to see because I remembered hearing on the radio not long ago advertisements about a quote heart healthy oil, and it was canola oil, and I was flabbergasted that they would even ever dare to make a commercial about that, advertising that this was a good oil to use. So go to their website, and sure enough, right now there are articles up on their site saying that seed oils are no big deal. And I'm going to put a link to one of those articles in the show notes. I kind of hesitate to do that. I don't want to give their website more traffic, but if you want to go see for yourself the bad advice that you're getting from these alphabet agencies, go down there and check it out. There is big money being exchanged in rooms that you're not invited into. So you've got to understand the impact that has on the messaging that they put out. And you've got to learn how to educate yourself through podcasts like this, through places like Verity Village, so that you can make your decisions based on the wisdom of knowing how God created your body to work and how certain things are actually not even food. They're sold in grocery stores. You're told they're food, but they're not even food. Things like seed oils and how those things can cause your body to quit working like God designed it to work. So, what are seed oils? What qualifies as a seed oil? Seed oils are industrial oils that are extracted from seeds rather than from fruits or animals. They include things like soybean oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, grapeseed oil, and rice bran oil. There may be others, but those are the ones you're going to see the most in your ingredient labels and on your oil and fats aisles of your grocery store. So, where they get you is they're often called vegetable oils, and we're supposed to eat our vegetables, right? Vegetables are healthy, right? Well, that term vegetable oil is actually a marketing term. It is not a botanical term. It is created to make them sound wholesome and plant-based, but mostly they are highly refined industrial products, not traditional foods. So, how are they made? Seeds are not naturally oily enough to release fat easily. So, in order to get the oil out of seeds, the extraction process typically involves high heat, mechanical pressing, and chemical solvents, commonly hexane. Sounds great, huh? Sounds very appetizing. So once that process is done, oils are then deodorized, bleached, and stabilized to prevent them from becoming rancid, going bad, having that weird oil smell that you've smelled before. These oils are already oxidized before you ever even cook with them. And oxidation makes a product like oils not be good anymore, be even more inflammatory to your body, even worse for you. So before they even come in your door, they're already oxidized. Keep that in mind. That is important. Oxidative stress is one of the 3 biggest contributors to metabolic dysfunction. Okay? So, how do these seed oils impact our bodies? First, they create an omega 6 overload. Omega 6. So, you've heard of omega fatty acids. There's omega 3s and there's omega 6s. Omega 3s are really good for you. Omega 6s, you need some, but they should be lesser in proportion to your diet or from your diet than the omega 3s. Our American diet, because of these seed oils, is extremely high in omega 6s. Okay? Modern diets really skew toward omega 6 and away from omega 3s dramatically. That leads to chronic inflammation kind of becoming our baseline. Okay? Because those omega 3s help to counteract the impact of the omega 6s and help to bring it all back into balance. Part of this comes from all of the processed foods that we eat because nearly all of them have these seed oils in them. Just start looking at labels and you'll see it's everywhere. Take that little list of oils that I listed above, put those on a little card, stick them in your wallet, and when you're just at the store, look at your labels and look at what's on there. And you'll see that nearly everything in those center aisles at the grocery store has one or more of those oils in it. Okay, so what else happens to your body? Well, the oxidative stress leads to cell damage. Polyunsaturated fats are unstable. Heat, light, and oxygen damage them easily. Then those oxidized fats damage your cell membranes. That's the outside of your cell, if you don't remember from your high school biology class. The mitochondria, the mitochondria are your powerhouses of your energy for your body, but this oxidation causes, or these oxidized fats cause damage to the mitochondria to where they can't work as well anymore, which leads to the complete feeling of having no energy because your cells don't have the energy to do the work that they need to do. It also damages the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, leading to cardiac events and all kinds of different issues with hardening of your vessels, blocking of your vessels, things like this, elasticity, all kinds of impacts. Okay. What else does it do? It leads to metabolic and insulin signaling disruption. You hear me talk about insulin resistance here a lot. These oxidized fats from seed oils are a big contributor, to the damage that leads to insulin resistance. It impacts your cell sensitivity to insulin. It contributes to weight loss resistance, to where you really have a hard time getting the pounds off when you're ready to lose them. It leads to fatigue, blood sugar swings, and it's particularly this is hard to say, particularly problematic for postpartum women and for women who are under chronic stress because of the compounded results or the compounded impact from the time of life and all that's going on in your world at that time. These oils also lead to hormone and nervous system effects. Your cell membranes rely on stable fats to receive hormone signals. Inflammatory fats disrupt that signaling, so it makes things worsen, like things like PMS, anxiety, brain fog, thyroid dysfunction. All these things are either directly contributed to or caused to be worse by these seed oils and the oxidized fats that they create. Why are women especially vulnerable to these problems? Well, women already juggle things like hormonal cycling, right? Every month, our hormones are going through a cycle that is part of how God made us. But the inflammatory impacts cause exacerbation of the stress that cycle can already cause our bodies. We also juggle pregnancy and postpartum depletion because as we're making these babies, they are taking from our bodies what they need. And if we are not able to put back in the nutrition that we need, or that nutrition is impacted by these inflammatory fats, then it depletes us even further. We also chronically undereat protein and healthy fat because we've been told for so long that those things are bad, or so many of the sources where we get these things, we've been told we're bad when they're really not bad. And so over the years, we have not been taking in the amounts of protein and healthy fats that we need, leaving us, again, depleted. In addition, seed oils amplify cortisol dysregulation, where your stress hormones and everything are just completely out of whack. They amplify inflammation-driven weight gain and nervous system overload. This whole messaging that we got for years and years of just eat less fat, you'll be fine, has backfired metabolically. See, we were told that these were healthier fats, but that was a lie, and that has led to this inflammatory state in our body. So where are some common places that these oils hide? Well, sadly, number one on this list is restaurant food. It's very hard, if not impossible, to eat out without being exposed to these oils. They're in everything. There are apps that you can get on your phone. They cost money, but they will help you to find restaurants that prepare their foods using other oils besides seed oils. Those are worth having. But in a place like where I live, you go to the app, there's nothing there because everybody uses it. So you have to be very aware that even if you're making healthy choices at restaurants, they're still going to have these inflammatory fats. So you need to really eat out as little as possible and eat at home as much as possible. These oils also hide in salad dressings, especially condiments, mayonnaise, crackers, chips, healthy, quote, healthy packaged snacks, baby food. Yes, baby food, toddler snacks, all those nice, easy, convenient foods that you see on the baby food aisle. Look at the ingredients. There are often inflammatory fats from these seed oils hiding on those labels. Protein bars that you're told are healthy, protein shakes you're told are healthy. Look at the labels. These oils are hiding there. You're going to have to become the kind of person that looks at labels. I know that's annoying. I know you don't want to do that. But if you want to be healthy, you're going to have to do all you can to get these inflammatory fats out of your diet. It's about reducing it. You might not be able to get them all out completely, but everything you get out is improvement. All right, so I've told you all the bad things. I've told you why these seed oils are the bad guy. So now what? What are you supposed to do, right? Well, let's talk about what the healthier oils are. What are the healthier fats that you can use? You want to look for fats that are heat stable. Things like tallow, lard from pasture-raised sources, ghee, butter, coconut oil. These are really good for cooking because they don't oxidize at high heat. Extra virgin olive oil is a good oil, but it's not the best one for cooking because it is a lower heat. It's not as stable at the high heat. Okay, so if you're doing lower heat, or you're using it for salad dressing, or you are using it for like dipping and things like that, extra virgin olive oil is great. At high heat, it's not your best choice. Those other ones are. Another lower heat oil that can be used for those lower purposes, like I just mentioned, is avocado oil, as long as it's high quality from verified sources. One of the things that I said where the oils are hiding is mayonnaise. One of my favorite things to do now is to make my own mayonnaise, and I use avocado oil for that because it, for one thing, has very little flavor, so it's not overpowering in the mayonnaise, and also because it's a low temp because you're not cooking the mayonnaise. I will say my whole life I had been told that mayo was just so hard. You just couldn't make it on your own because it was so hard to get it right. Again, that was a lie. With an immersion blender, if you have an immersion blender, you can find the it's like 30 seconds. Seriously, you can find recipes online. I'll try to remember to link it down in the show notes. I don't already have it in my notes, so I might forget, but you put the oil and an egg and a little salt. You can put a little dry mustard. You can put some garlic in it if you want to. You don't have to. You put the immersion blender in there, and 30 seconds later, you have fresh, delicious mayonnaise without any of the bad ingredients. It's amazing. Don't ever buy mayonnaise at the store anymore. There's no reason to. Get you an immersion blender, keep the ingredients on hand. You've got fresh mayo whenever you want it. Okay, I digress. That was not in my notes at all, y'all. I try to keep myself on an outline just so that I kind of stay on course, but that just popped in my head. These are easy ways to replace the bad stuff in your diet. All right. These fats that I just talked about, the tallow, the lard, the butter, all the things we've been told in the last 20, 30 years are awful for you. Those things have been used for centuries. They support things like cell membrane integrity. They support hormone production. They support satiety, meaning you feel full. You're not starving to death. You're not always wanting to chase the next thing because you're always hungry. They fill you up, and that contributes also to blood sugar balance. So, how do you do this? How do you transition? How is this practical at all? Well, here's some tips to transition out of the seed oils into healthier oils. First, you're going to start with your cooking oil, excuse me. So like if you've been using vegetable oil that comes in the bottle, get rid of that, replace one thing, and then choose tallow, lard, coconut oil, whichever one you want to do, but change one thing and try to pick the thing that you use the most so that you're having the biggest impact. Replace store-bought dressings with simple homemade versions. Anything that's got a mayonnaise base, I just told you how to make simple mayonnaise. You then use that as your base for the dressing, and you've got a much healthier option. If you have the ability, choose restaurants that cook with butter or olive oil when possible. I know that's hard, especially if you're going to some of the chain restaurants. You've probably heard that now Steak and Shake makes their fries with tallow. Now, fries are still not going to be your best option for your diet, but at the very least, they've taken the bad fat out and put in a good one. So take that for whatever it's worth. I'm not saying go eat French fries. I'm just saying that at least one restaurant has been making headlines about making this switch. The more we demand it and the more we ask for it, the more it will become a normal thing. Next tip, again, read labels. Vegetable oil is a red flag. Any of those oils that I said higher in the list or earlier in the list, any of those oils, keep them on a card in your wallet so that you can be looking. And if those things are on the labels, avoid those products. And then another tip is to focus on what you add, not just what you remove. So make sure that you're putting good things in place of the bad things that you're taking out. So the big picture takeaway is that seed oils are not the sole cause of chronic illness, but they are a significant contributor to inflammation and to metabolic dysfunction. Healing is not about chasing perfection. It's just about making small steps towards getting better day by day in the little ways that you're able to inside of your life and your routines. When your body feels nourished and your body feels safe, it's going to heal more effectively. And when you cut out these sources of inflammation, your body is going to be in that place where it can heal. Your body is not broken. It's responding exactly as it's been designed to do to the inputs it's been given. And we've been told that things are good for us that weren't, and our bodies have responded. It can be dealt with. It can be made better. But if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I've changed my oils and I still don't feel better, or maybe this episode stirred up more questions than it gave you answers, that's okay. It's not a failure. It's overwhelming to try to process all this, and I know that. This is not a judgment on you. This is an invitation to a place where you have the support to learn and to make the changes that will help your body begin to operate again the way God designed it to operate. Healing does not happen in isolation. So if you're ready for support, guidance in a village that understands women's bodies, where the people there are seeking His design and seeking how to work with His design, you will find that in Verity Village, and that's linked down in the show notes. Seed oils are just one piece of a bigger picture. Your metabolism, your hormones, your nervous system, sleep, stress, and nutrient intake, and the status of your body with your body's nourishment, they all talk to each other. And when you're left guessing alone, the progress takes far longer than it needs to, and it costs more over time than it needs to. But believe it or not, it's actually not a lack of effort. There are things in your body that are making you feel bad. And those things fuel the cravings and desires that you think you're just not strong enough to handle. You think that you don't have the willpower. Believe it or not, this is not a willpower issue. These issues perpetuate themselves and you walk away feeling like a failure. But it can stop today. There are very real steps that you can take to cut off these problems that you've been having, to start to heal and to learn how to undo the damage, undo the cravings, all these things. That's why I coach women. If you're tired of your doctor telling you that nothing's wrong when you know something's wrong, something is definitely wrong, coaching is for you. And you can apply in the show notes, links down there. I've been talking about this for weeks. But coaching is for women who want individualized guidance. You want your lab so that you have that clarity in all the decisions you're making. You want someone walking beside you as your body recalibrates, as you start to learn how to make your body work the way God designed it to work. This is not lighthearted. It's not for the person that's just saying, maybe I'll get healthy this year. But rather, it's for the woman who's saying, I am tired of this. I am ready for real lasting change. I'm ready to feel good. I'm ready to be the wife I know I can be. I'm ready to be the mom I know I can be. That is why I started coaching women like you, because I know you can feel better. I feel better now at 44 than I can ever remember feeling. I have more energy. I never would have thought that I could feel this way. I've lost weight easily. And I was told that wouldn't happen in your 40s because your hormones, right? No, that was also a lie. Coaching is personalized support and it's accountability and it's a game changer. But if that sounds like a little too much for you, Verity Village is for the woman who wants education, the woman who wants community and ongoing support. So she's not trying to piece it all together from podcasts or Instagram. She wants the deeper conversations and the support and the friendships. That's where Verity Village is for you. That is the place you want to be. We're having great conversations there. We've already had 2 of our live calls. We would love to have you join us there as we all work to grow together and to learn how to work with our bodies God's way. So if you're ready to stop guessing and to start healing with clarity and confidence, you'll find links to both down in the show notes. I hope this episode has helped you a lot. I hope you've learned. If you have learned something, I hope that you will share this episode with a friend, and I will see you right back here next week.